And good morning and welcome into the Real Monica Adams Show. It is 7 o'clock and we are ready to get you lit up for Valentine's and Galentine's Day. When did that start? Well, we're going to tell you all about Galentine's coming up in about 10-15 minutes. We're going to be talking with Ruth Choate. If you've been following us on social media, you know that I've been asking you to RSVP, get your tickets, because you don't want to miss out on this one. It's coming up at Stonehouse of St. Charles on February 13th. And then a wonderful romantic night planned at the Stonehouse of St. Charles with a past guest of ours, violinist, composer, singer, wonderful model, Abby Stahlschmidt. She will be at the Valentine's night. We're going to talk about all of this. And again, if you've ever been to a Galentine's event, let us know what stood out for you. And if you didn't know about Galentine's, it's an opportunity for you to get all your girlfriends together and not miss out on what many think is a Hallmark holiday. Well, we'll talk all about love in all different types of relationships coming up in our segment today. We've got weather, we've got news you can use, got some sports news, and if you're looking for a job in this crazy world, we'll let you know what sector is most needed and most sought after, as well as a story that I've been seeing in the news in the last 48 hours. It's a little unsettling to me. I'll tell you about that. And I want you to look to the sky, by the way. As we get ready to do weather for you, we're going to tell you a couple things that you should look for. One, I'm told by my team that there's an absolutely beautiful sunrise this morning, but the moon is out there as well, and there's something adjacent to that moon that I'm going to tell you about in just a second. Let's start off with weather. It is very cold, not nearly as cold as it's going to be tomorrow, though. We are, many of you, in the teens right now, 29 for our high today, but look at that low. We are in single digits, down to 8 degrees. On Wednesday, still 29. The sun is out, though, so it is nice that it's somewhat melting all of the snow and the ice that we saw over the last week. Now, we get warmer on Thursday, 43, down to only 30, which is going to be nice from the 8 we're going to feel tonight. We get into Friday and Saturday. That's what I want you to look for. I asked this to Beckett yesterday if some of the rain predictions could turn into a mix. This is the forecast from First Alert 4. So what I was listening to this morning, there is a chance of, a 50% chance actually, of evening to night rain on Friday, but then into Saturday, depending on those temperatures, it could be a rain mix or rain snow. Light accumulation is what they're saying. We'll check with Beckett as we get closer to that. And then Sunday, 23 for a high, and then look at that cold snap again, 19 for your high on Monday, and 7 for the low. That is Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and it is Inauguration Day. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we go from 22, 32 to 35 for your high. Okay, again, I mentioned that if you look into the sky right now, you'll see a beautiful sunrise coming up, but you'll also see what looks like a plane, but it's a small looking star that's just, I'd say, about maybe 4 or 5 o'clock from where the moon is. There are planets to be looking for throughout the month of January. Some people are getting a chance to spot these. There's also a comet out there, but I ask you to look for it. Maybe you can get a picture of it and put it all over social media. Look deeper into that. There's many things I was just looking at that people are talking about Saturn, talking about Mercury, Jupiter, and the placement of them, how they were shifting around throughout the month of January. But you can literally get a month by month to see that. My husband actually called me as I was driving out this morning saying, look just to the right of the moon. So for those of you that want to open up your curtains right now and look outside or step outside, put a coat on, put the dogs out to go to the bathroom maybe, and just look up and marvel at what's out there in our universe. Okay, a lot of people in national news talking today, actually all week long, about the confirmation hearings. And one person in particular that everyone is going to be glued to either TV or listening to the radio or seeking this out later today. It has to do with that man on your screen right now. Do you know him? I've actually watched him over the last several years on Fox News. Fox News. Pete Hegseth, President-elect Donald Trump's pick to lead the Pentagon. He faces a Senate panel today for his confirmation hearing. He is expected to be questioned over allegations ranging from sexual assault to excessive drinking in the workplace. He has denied all accusations. He made several trips to Capitol Hill to shore up support since he was announced as Trump's pick back in November, including meeting with senators as recently as last week. But it is unclear as of today whether the veteran and the former Fox News host has managed to convince the Senate Armed Services Committee so that his nomination can be referred to the full chamber for a vote. He, again, was a contributor on Fox News back in 2014, eventually becoming a co-host of the weekend Fox and Friends show, and then he stepped down when he was considered for this position. So we'll be telling you more about that as we get information. We'll see what happens today. Any big news from that, we'll pass along for you tomorrow. Yesterday, we told you about Missouri Governor Mike Kehoe. Well, as soon as he took office, he signed 6 executive orders as his first official act in office. The governor signed the orders and officially launched his Safer Missouri Public Safety Initiative. It was developed in close collaboration with law enforcement partners and representatives across all levels of law enforcement within our state. He said, quote, "By standing with the brave officers who protect us every day and implementing strategic forward-thinking measures, we are working to make Missouri a safer place to live, work, and raise a family. In the coming weeks, months, and even years," he said, "my administration will be relentless in our pursuit to make Missouri a place where it's easier to be a cop than it is a criminal." And you can see Michelle's going to be dropping in for you these 6 executive orders after his inauguration. Remember the story we did about the company that brought Jingle to our area? Now, this is actually a Kansas City-based company. There was a lot of problems when it opened up of people getting injured. They said they changed some things around for the actual experience, but then I started hearing from people that worked there that said that they weren't paid. Well, the beleaguered limited liability company associated with the holiday light displays in the Kansas City and St. Louis areas, well, they actually hired a bankruptcy attorney to try to find assets to pay people who worked the event. Epic Holiday LLC hired the firm to assist with the unpaid staff, other creditors that were owed money, including entertainers, laborers, stagehands who were hired on a contract basis. The attorney said a bankruptcy claim has not yet been filed. The owners of the company, they say they feel horrible about what's happened. They're doing their best they can to scratch together what they can to get the payroll met. Direct employees, we're told, should anticipate being paid by the end of the month. They couldn't provide any timeline or certainty for creditors, which includes all the entertainers, all the set workers. There's one guy who said that he raced back and forth from Kansas City to St. Louis to set up. He's owed $20,000. He's a laborer. He said he's in a pretty good position to be able to take care of himself, but he's worried about all those employees that weren't paid. I do actually have an email address. They are encouraging anyone with a claim to email correspondence at WaggonerGroup.com. That's correspondence at Waggoner. That's WAGONER at WaggonerGroup.com. All right, are you a fan of Antiques Roadshow? Do you think you have something that's worth thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions? Well, you can find out because the PBS Antiques Roadshow is coming to our area in May. That's right. Antiques Roadshow will visit the Metro on Tuesday, May 13th. The show will reveal the distinctive and historic venues for each event in the coming weeks. Guests will receive free verbal evaluations of their antiques, their art, their collectives by experts from the country's leading auction houses and dealers. Admission is free, but tickets are required and they must be purchased in advance. Again, this very popular PBS show going on tour for its 30th anniversary and making a stop right here in St. Louis. Well, I mentioned earlier in the weather that coming up on Monday is Martin Luther King Jr. Day and Inauguration Day. A lot of people throwing inauguration parties the days before or the day of, and a lot of people are talking about the ball coming up on Sunday, and then on Monday, who will be performing at the inauguration? Well, we'll give you a few of the artists and entertainers that will be there. Carrie Underwood and the Village People. Carrie Underwood actually came out and said that she loves her country. She's honored to have been asked to sing at the inauguration and to be a small part of this come together and historic event. She said, "I'm humbled to answer the call at a time when we must all get away from division in the spirit of unity and looking to the future." An American disco group, the Village People, made a name for themselves. You remember them back in the late 70s. Some of you may, some of you may not. You know the song YMCA or Macho Man. Well, they'll be performing, and so will country singer Lee Greenwood and opera singer Christopher Macchio. We've got some news for all of you Kansas City Chiefs fans. Quarterback Patrick Mahomes and his wife Brittany, They've got 3 little ones running around now. Yes, yesterday it was announced that the couple, they just had a baby. And according to Patrick Mahomes, he said, I'm done. I did 3. I'm done. So they have just welcomed in their new daughter, and her name, Golden Ray Mahomes. The couple's 3rd child, joining 2-year-old brother Patrick Bronze Levon Mahomes III and 3-year-old sister Sterling Sky Mahomes. Congratulations to the couple. And by the way, the Texans will be playing the Chiefs on Saturday. That kickoff is at 3:30. In hockey news, the Blues are in action tonight. They'll be playing at home against the Calgary Flames. And then I said this in the beginning, if you were looking for a job, what sector do you think is the fastest growing sector? Now, I asked this to my director, Zach Kimball, and within about 5 seconds, he nailed it. So I'm going to give you a little time to drop in, or if you drop in after I ask this, that's fine. What do you think the fastest growing sector is? And we've talked a lot about this particular topic, by the way, in the news you can use over the last year plus. I'm going to say it's this. People are concerned about it. People are excited about it. People are worried it might take their jobs. Others are saying it's a good thing. Others are saying it's a bad thing. I think I've given you enough tips. It's 2 letters. AI, the fastest growing job sector. Some of the fastest growing jobs revolve, for those that are looking into this field, artificial intelligence engineers and artificial intelligence consultants. Those are the top 2 jobs. Following those, physical therapist, workforce development manager, and travel advisor. While AI offers plenty of benefits, some are worried its increased usage may result in a loss of jobs. AI, again, replacing positions formerly held by people, and issues revolving around the privacy of customers and users. And this is just the story that, I don't know, it seems a little unsettling to me. I saw this over the last couple of days. This woman, this robot, and I'll tell you how much she cost. She was unveiled at a recent conference, humanoid AI-powered robot, Aria. It's from the company Realbotics. And they said, nope, she can't clean your house just yet. The initial launch is for social interaction. They're saying for younger kids and maybe seniors that are struggling with social isolation and depression. But you know what it's going to cost you to bring Aria into your home? $175,000. No, thank you. How about we just have somebody introduce you to a new social group, or you go to church, or you go find yourself an organization, and then you go and find friends. Trust me, there are actual human beings out there that want to have a relationship with you. We're going to talk about relationships today. I don't think you need to spend $175,000. In fact, we've got a ticket for you for a heck of a lot less, where you can find a new friend. Maybe it's going to be on Galentine's Day, or maybe you meet some new couples on Valentine's Day. So we're going to talk about relationships today with Ruth Choate and Abby Stahlschmidt, Galentine's event as well as Valentine's events at Stonehouse of St. Charles. That's our topics today, and Abby and Ruth will be in these blue chairs when we return.
One of our things we always say is we want everybody to leave with a smile.
Oh, and trust me, they do. I've seen a lot of smiles here today. There's so many levels of why you will love these ladies, but giving back to the community, supporting the community, collaborating with other businesses.
Base pace. Now we give parameters here. Power walkers generally use incline. Yeah, I know.
Go, girls, go!
Because you're not only getting some great local roasted coffee, you're getting good people.
Good people is what it's about. And by the way, that person who turned up their nose, karma is that you know what.
Yep.
Everyone needs to be kind. And it starts really with the adults. And then it goes down, because we're the ones that are instilling this in our children, in our families, and everything thereafter.
We are live on location, and this is the really cool thing. This is exactly what we can do from your business. We call it Mobile Monica. You know, I'm always on the move.
This lady got me in the best shape of my life. I literally didn't know that I could be in shape like that. But the amount that she pours into her clients, and especially whenever you get the one-on-one training, it's mind-blowing. I mean, it was really life-changing. I learned so much about proper form, about nutrition, about just being able to invest in myself. I hired Monica to be my personal trainer, which was one of the best decisions I've ever made.
Well, welcome back. It is 7:16, and you're tuned in to The Real Monica Adams Show. I'm your host, Monica Adams. You just saw her on that promo, but now she's live. It's not like a robot. She's live in studio. We're going to talk with Abby Stahlschmidt, and Ruth Choate. First of all, ladies, thanks for coming in.
Oh, thanks for having us.
Thank you so much. Sorry, I was waiting for her to finish.
She's like, "You're going to say more?" No, we got to press play.
Yeah. I try to usually like keep all my words down to a minimum if I can.
Why is that?
I don't know. It's impossible usually for me.
No,
Yeah.
talk
Yeah.
it up. We're going to talk a huge event up.
Yeah.
So I actually was looking into this. Do you know when Galentine's, ladies and gentlemen, as you're tuning in this morning, do you know when Galentine's came about? I'm going to guess you've probably done some research. Have you done some research, Abby?
I haven't researched that
No?
one.
I haven't
Okay,
either.
does anybody know, and do you know where it came from? I actually just looked it up a little bit ago. It hasn't been around as long as I maybe thought. I was like, okay, has it been around for like decades? Decades? Did like our mothers and grandmas know about Galentine's Day? No. It's fairly recent. It's 2010, and it came from a TV show, February 11th, actually, back in 2010. So that's the origin behind Galentine's Day. But I don't know if immediately it stuck and people started planning, but it's where ladies finally found like this anthem of, all right, we don't need to have a man in our lives.
Yeah.
We don't need to have the Hallmark holiday that a lot of people call it.
Yeah.
We're going to go out together. You well, let's give you background first of all. So Ruth is with Stonehouse of St. Charles, which we've been showing you pictures of, and Abby's going to tell us how she has been affiliated with Ruth. Stunning place, by the way.
Thank
so
you.
When did you first open Stonehouse?
We built Stonehouse. The actual Stonehouse is 200 years old.
Yes.
So it was finished in 1824. It was built by the Cottle family that formed Cottleville. So, yeah. And then we built the hall. It was finished. And there you go. That was 1955.
Wow.
That picture is St. Charles County in 1955.
Right.
Nothing around the 200-year-old
Farmland
Stonehouse.
everywhere.
Yeah, but the guest house was built in 1930, and we built the hall and finished it in February 2018.
Oh, and
we've
look
had
at that.
over 1,000 weddings since
How many?
Over 1,000 since February 2018.
2018.
Yeah.
Just absolutely stunning. I can't wait, just like a lot of you, I can't wait to see this in person because looking through all the pictures, and thank you, by the way, for all of your work behind the scenes, gathering this for us. 1,000 weddings, over 1,000 weddings, beautiful pictures, and we have shown some of those. I mean, award-winning in the snow, that woman
that
being
one was
dipped back.
crazy.
Oh, my, stunning.
Yeah, that's Brianna Rose photography. Yeah, that picture is very well liked.
Yeah, well, I bet. I mean, it's beautiful. So just the backdrop of these weddings. But one of the things that Ruth and I had talked about, and this is interesting what she kind of says of where this might come from a venue standpoint, a lot of venues have seen a little bit of a dip down in weddings. Yeah. And you said why? It was something, it was tied to like the pandemic?
Mean, people think maybe that I'm crazy, but I belong to a group of more than 12,000 venue owners globally across the planet, and everybody's down in 2025. And we think it's because people weren't meeting the love of their life in 2020. They didn't go to the grocery store to pick up a hot chick in the produce section. They didn't go to work. They didn't go to bars. They weren't even going to church. Everything was, people were doing it remotely. And so if you didn't meet the love of your life in 2020 because you weren't going anywhere, you were stuck at home, the natural progression of a relationship is you casually start dating, you start more seriously dating, then you work into talking about long-term, and then maybe getting engaged and planning a wedding a year to 2 years out. So there is a lull. There is a lull.
Interesting.
I know, it's
and
crazy.
Probably because, again, if you think about it, you were home for a year and a half, 2 years. So, yes, then you start to try to, how did I talk to people again? I was trying to get back into that because people lost their social skills.
I know.
So she might have something there. What do you think about that?
This is just my crazy thing, but
I think you might be right.
We have like 80 events right now that are booked for 2025, which is still a lot by anybody's standards.
But our
average is around 110 to 130.
Wow,
that's a lot.
But we'll probably start to see this come back, as all of you are out there. And a hot chick or a hot guy, I was picked up when I was a teenager in the produce section, so it's finally fun that you say. Abby, do you have any fun stories about meeting anybody over a watermelon? No,
Hasn't worked for me. So.
Yeah.
maybe it'll happen today if you're going to the
Yeah,
grocery store.
exactly.
If you're just tuning in, this is Abby Stahlschmidt. You've seen her on the show a handful of times. Ruth Choate, the owner of Stonehouse of St. Charles. So how did you two originally get connected?
I actually forget how long ago it was now, but I've been playing at your venue for weddings.
I think the beginning. You think?
Well, at least 4 years at this point.
Yeah.
So yes, absolutely gorgeous venue,
Yeah.
and I'm really thrilled that you even invite me for the open houses,
Yeah.
and it's definitely nice that it's like 10 minutes away from me too,
Yeah.
so it works out perfectly. But absolutely stunning venue, and for me as a violinist too, I love the acoustics in the venue.
She does carry on about the acoustics a lot, actually.
Yes,
Yeah.
because a lot of people think about just the visuals of the venue, and it's an absolutely stunning venue. But for me, whenever I get to in a place where the reverb is fantastic for violin, you have no idea how much of a difference that makes too. So not only is it beautiful, but the acoustics are amazing. So another.
I
plus.
think it's the funniest thing. She's always at all of our open houses, and we do an open house like every 3 to 4 months where anybody can come in and join in the fun. There's lots of free food and booze at those events, so people really show up. I mean, it's
If you provide it, they will come.
exactly. But she's always playing at that. And the funniest story I ever have is that dad that people like they're listening to her and they're just like in awe. They're absolutely in awe. They're like, but I had this one dad that he's walking past me and he hears Abby and the bride is like mesmerized, and she's like, I think I want this lady to play at my wedding, and the dad goes, keep walking, and I go, why? I go, what do you go? He goes, oh, I think she's gonna be way too expensive. And I'm like, she looks like that, but you might be surprised.
Abby, you look like money.
I said she's
Wow, that's
very
nice to hear.
approachable. She's very approachable. Lori will talk to you. Will give you a card. She will, you can hire her.
Right,
I
I
know,
don't
believe it or
bite.
not. It's people are they are intimidated. I think sometimes by
Okay, how old are you in
Oh
that
my
picture?
goodness.
Look at that baby.
I actually just looked this up the other day, so I'm glad I was prepared for this. That was 2013.
Okay, I was going to
Wow.
say, for those of you that don't know, I started personal training Abby when she was 14 years old,
I think so, yeah.
right? So I've known her for a long time. That's about what you look like when I first met you.
That was actually from a billboard that I did for UMSL. So
Oh, yeah,
when
I
was,
remember that.
I started taking college classes when I was high school age. So
Yep.
really thankful that I was able to do that. But yeah, anyway, enough about me.
Billboard?
Well, yeah, she was. Yes. So talented. And you're going to get a chance to see her talents play out on Valentine's Day, by the way. So we're going to talk about Valentines, but we also are going to talk about Galentines. So is this the first time you've had a Galentine's
Yes,
event?
Yeah.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
We've hardly done any events like this because
Just
we're
mainly
always
weddings.
just weddings. So yeah, this is going to be a first for us.
So when did you come up with the idea about doing Galentines, and what made you want to provide that this year?
I think that, as women, we all like to get together and just yak each other up a lot. So
And laugh.
I know, exactly. So I think that coming up with something around Valentine's Day for in the big hall, that I keep calling it a raging party. And I don't know if that's like going to scare people or not, but it will be a wild, raucous, or raging party. Yeah, I want people
Okay,
to come.
meaning what?
No.
What?
Like just we're not going to sit around in a knitting circle and like chat about
Sorry,
I don't
Grandma.
know, whatever. This is going to be fun, like a lot of fun. I want people to have the most fun that they've had in a very, very long time.
Yeah, you want them to walk away
Yeah.
from this and say, if you miss this, you've got to go, and hopefully it'll be
Yeah.
able to do this
Yeah.
from years to come.
Yeah.
There's a QR code on your
Yeah.
screen that you can scan if you haven't purchased your tickets yet. So we were talking about what could all be provided for you this night.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that we've been seeing move all over social media are these cocktail boards.
Yeah.
We were telling you about this,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden you just go down this
Yes.
rabbit hole and you see
Yeah.
all these different. So have you announced what your drinks will be that
so
night?
the drinks we have not
Okay.
because I'm working with Booze Brothers, who's our exclusive beverage provider, and so I'm gonna. It's
Booze
one of them is I think gonna be I don't know. They make a really mean. It sounds weird. Mean Starburst drink. It's called Pink Starburst, and it's a drink, and it is really delicious.
dangerous.
Yeah, I know exactly. You can suck a lot of those down and not realize. Wait, what did I just do?
That wasn't a Shirley Temple, Mom.
Yeah, but they're going to come up with our themed cocktails, and they're
Okay.
going to be themed cocktails for Galentine's Day. Yes.
And then charcuterie boards.
Yeah.
So there was
Which
a
will
woman.
also be themed.
Okay, there was a woman that wrote me last night. I didn't
Uh-huh.
want to forget. Misty wanted me to ask. She just purchased her tickets. Besides the charcuterie boards that are provided in the ticket price, will there be anything else that they could buy food-wise?
Food-wise, no, not that I know of, but that's not completely out of the realm because I don't know. We have a million caterers that come to our place all the time, so that wouldn't be out of the realm. But what I am providing for everybody is charcuterie boards for the table and the 2 signature cocktails. So everybody will have that. It comes with the ticket price.
And then tell us about this music bingo.
Yeah, I know. I don't know if anybody's done music bingo before, but it is crazy. And basically, you have a bingo card in front of you that has song titles in it, and then we play a snippet of the song. You're not getting any numbers, and you're not getting any song titles, so you got to recognize these songs
this is gonna
on
be
your
fun.
card
Abby's gonna
and
win.
mark it off.
Am I allowed to play it?
I know. I don't know because back in the radio station days, we played a lot of Name That Tune, and there are crazy people out there that
They can do it on one note.
One note. It is
yes.
Oh,
insane.
man.
To
I can do it
me.
on one note
I
with some.
know, it's crazy. I was always like shocked when people could name a song in one
There's
note.
some iconic
2
songs
notes.
out there, Ruth,
I
where
mean,
you're like, oh, I got
remember
that.
back in the day, who was it? Kathy Lee Gifford that did Name That Tune or something? Do you remember that?
I don't, but I remember
She's
it.
too young for that, and I don't even know how old you are. I don't even remember when that show aired, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
It was how many of you enjoyed that show, right? They would be
Yeah.
like, I can name that in 3 tunes.
Yeah.
Okay, name that tune. Or
Yeah.
I can name it at 1. And you'd be like, no, you can't. Yes, they do.
There are some songs out there
Yes,
know that
yes.
instantaneously
Oh, yeah.
you know what it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Again, if you're just
Yeah.
tuning in, okay, this
Yeah.
is exactly what the night's going to be like.
Yeah.
We're just going to be having a great time with your gal pals for Galentine's. Again, this is Ruth Choate. She's the owner of Stonehouse of St. Charles. Abby Stahlschmidt will be strolling around with her incredible talent on the violin on the next night,
Yes,
on
on
Valentine's
Valentine's Day.
night.
Yep,
And
yep.
so give them a little preview of what they can expect, because this is an experience.
Yes. So it's going to be a very romantic atmosphere, especially being in the historic Stonehouse.
Yep.
So we want to really play into that. Think of the classics like Frank Sinatra, Tony Bennett. We may play a few pop tunes in kind of a romantic style as well. So something for everybody. But
1,000 years? Will you play 1,000 years?
if you want me to play it, I definitely will.
That is
She's already got a
kind of
request.
joke between Abby.
Yes, that was probably the most
Number
played violin song, especially for the bride walk down,
Walking down the
for
aisle.
ceremonies.
It is
Was that maybe 2022
It
or
was
something?
from the Twilight movie.
Yes.
It was the
Oh,
wedding.
I know
but it
that.
was popular for a
Yes.
long time.
Oh, it's still popular.
yes,
In her
So
household,
we
in the
may
Choate
throw that
household.
in just
Yeah.
for Ruth.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a very romantic, elegant atmosphere that really plays into Valentine's Day, and just a great atmosphere for couples to enjoy the night.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because you could go to a restaurant. You could take your bride or you take your loved
other.
one, your significant other, to a restaurant and sit there, and maybe they pipe in some music overhead, and you'll have a really nice meal. But coming to Stonehouse on Valentine's Day is going to be an experience. Number one, it is a 200-year-old stone mansion
Exactly.
that we have renovated to the hilt. Like, we spared no expense. Me and J-Lo have the same stove, and me and Kris Jenner have the same tub. Yeah, so it's a very fancy place. And the fireplace in the great room.
How do you know that you and J-Lo have the same stove?
Because right after I renovated Stonehouse, there was an article that came out in House Beautiful and showed her stove. And that stove represents about 30 different choices, and we're exactly the same. We have exactly the same stove. which is
Ruth,
kinda
can you
weird.
sing I'm Just Ruth from the Block?
Well, I tell people all the time, I'm like, hey, if it's fancy enough if it's good enough for J-Lo, it's good enough for us. So, hey, everybody can use the stove on their wedding day if they need to. You know,
How
it's there
awesome.
or whatever. But it is cool. But the very best thing, if you ask me, is the great room where everybody's going to be eating dinner in a very romantic atmosphere has the Daniel Boone fireplace in it.
Oh.
Daniel Boone carved that mantle for the Cottle family as a housewarming gift when
Serious?
they
I didn't know
pioneered
that.
west across the United States. And Daniel Boone made about 6 mantles for his friends as housewarming gifts. I think that's where the phrase housewarming gift comes from.
From Daniel Boone?
I don't
from
know.
His gifts?
Fireplace mantle, housewarming gift, kind of makes sense, doesn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So Daniel Boone carved the mantle. And if you go to the Daniel Boone home, which was his son Nathan's home, but the mantle in Nathan's main parlor there, they're identical to each other. They look exactly like.
Look, not only is it gorgeous, but you got a little history lesson here from Ruth.
Right.
I try to do history, but not boring history. But there's a lot of history.
There's nothing boring about that story or
Yeah.
what will take place at Galentine's. All right, we're going to take a break.
Yeah.
Galentine's night and Valentine's night. And are you doing Saturday also?
Yes,
Okay,
Saturday
so
the
13th, 14th, 15th. So a lot of people can't go out on a Friday night for Valentine's.
Mm-hmm.
If they can't, then that gives you an opportunity to do Saturday. And there, you'll have a musician also on
I think
Saturday?
so. We will not have Abby,
No.
unfortunately. She's
Abby's very
booked up
popular and
somewhere else. Yeah.
She's money.
Yeah.
Right, apparently. I need to go to the grocery store today, too.
That's where you're going to find the guy. All right, we're gonna take a break. By the way, you can start texting everybody. Tell them that we're on right now, visiting with these two beautiful women. Again, Ruth Choate and Abby Stahlschmidt. More about Galentines and Valentines when we return.
Discover your full potential with a personalized styling experience. Designing, customizing, and transforming the looks of men and women. Revamp your individual style and embrace what makes you, you. That's real confidence.
Monica show. It's very informational, but more importantly, inspirational.
People such as myself and others can come out and talk about real issues that are taking place in our communities.
These are amazing, really, really important topics that don't get discussed enough.
It really just promotes people who are making change and doing good in their lives.
And welcome back. It is 7:33. Thanks for tuning in to the Real Monica Adams Show. We're talking about love, relationships in so many forms. So when you hear the word love, do you automatically go to that relationship with your significant other? Or do you think love is in so many forms? When I do my motivational speaking, I would ask that exact question. And I love people that go to the depths of, well, I have love for a mother-son, a mother-daughter, a father. You know, again, why do I have him on my set? Because I had a deep love for my daddy. Lost him when I was 24. Can you imagine going all those years without a parent? And you think about that incredible love. Love for friendships, which I think is one of the most amazing things. Who do we turn to when we're struggling with things in life? We think of our confidants, our closest friends. Well, that's what we want you to do, is call all of those women. And yes, I'm sorry, guys. I know you have your nights as well. You're always out with your guy friends. Well, with the ladies, we're going to have a Galentine's event on February 13th. And that's what we're talking about today with, again, Stonehouse of St. Charles owner Ruth Choate and Abby Stahlschmidt, who will be performing the next night on Valentine's night. I asked earlier, and your mom's here, by the way, and she said, wait, we got to go back to the story of how these two met, because they said it's a beautiful story. So you met at a hospital?
Yes, we went to Children's Hospital. That's where it was, right?
Yes,
because
it was Children's.
she was playing in this massive vest. Talk about reverberation and like acoustics. Where that was,
It was in not exactly the lobby area,
Yeah.
but I know that the hospital windows kind of were facing down towards the middle
huge.
foyer or
And you
something
can
like that.
And we could see you and hear you from like a
They were
lofty area.
They were also broadcasting to some of the stations, the TVs that went into the hospital rooms.
I did not know that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't
Yeah,
know if you
yeah.
watched from that. But yeah, this was at Children's, and was it Night to to shine. Oh, I'm forgetting the name of the event, but it was a themed night where I was playing on the little stage in front, and people could also come down right in front of the stage and watch the show or watch from their rooms.
Yeah,
so
and I don't want to cry, but I have identical twin grandsons that were their special needs. They were born 2 months premature. Like I could fit them in the palm of my hand. They weighed 3 pounds 8 ounces. But at this time, they were in the hospital, and they were about 2 years old, and they could hear her playing the violin.
And they were reacting?
Oh yeah. So they were down there, and they were like right on. We took them down there, and they just wanted to get as close as they possibly could to her, and we're on the front row, and they're just watching her, mesmerized by her. They are the cutest and the sweetest human beings that God ever created, and they're definitely obsessed with her.
How old are they now?
They're 8 now. Yeah,
my
they're
goodness.
Thriving, but there's been a lot of challenges with them, but they're thriving now. But sometimes they're still there. Sometimes they'll come to Stonehouse and she'll still be there, but most of the time she's there by the time they've left. They're there for setup sometimes, just with their mom, waiting for someone to take them back home or something. But they are really cute people and human beings, and that's exactly how we met. I totally forgot that. I can't even believe I forgot that.
You both forgot.
Yeah, I know.
See, that's why we need our moms.
Yeah, we're just
is a
so
beautiful
used
story.
to seeing each other at the weddings all the time.
Oh yeah,
that,
you've been connected for so long.
Right.
Sometimes you forget your beginning.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
I love that was our introduction, though. I mean, they are the sweetest. I mean, if you see them in person, they're the cutest little kids.
Yeah, they are.
But I forgot that was how we met. Thank you for allowing me to come to the Stonehouse for an open house right after that too.
Being in the hospital with a kid is hard enough. It's a very hard thing ever. It doesn't even matter what you're in the hospital for. But for kids to be drawn out of their rooms to listen to her play.
Well, you think about, that is the one language that connects us all, the language of music. It's the emotions that it takes you to, and that's what you've got to be so proud of. I was going to ask you earlier, but that's an even better story about what it means to you to be playing at her events, playing for these weddings, knowing that it's the beginning of this incredible relationship, because you play at a lot of weddings. And I know I always see your social media posts literally saying, thank you for allowing me to be a part of your special day, which she played at our wedding.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yes. Yes. It was a cold day, Abby.
It was cold, but it was beautiful.
Yes, it was.
Honestly, it is one of the best experiences. I mean, I've played for a lot of events and concerts over the years. But being able to play for somebody's wedding, there's definitely something so incredibly special about that. For one thing, everybody's in a really good mood.
Yes.
She may see the other side of it sometimes, but I usually
the bridezilla beforehand.
Right. I usually get the good mood. All the guests ready to have a good time. So it's just a beautiful atmosphere, and I've always loved being at weddings, but also there's something special about being able to be the musician and kind of, the resident expert about music in the venue. Usually my brides that I've worked with have been so easygoing, and usually they're like, I like these 2 songs, but you can pick really whatever you want other than that. Sure. They're usually very easy to work with. So I've been blessed on that front. But and of course, celebrating a wedding in such a gorgeous venue. I mean, all around, it's just an amazing backdrop.
I can tell you funny stories about it because I'm getting cues, from the bride of when a song's supposed to change and all this other stuff. And so Abby and I...
That can be the trickiest part.
Yeah, I know. But we... excuse me. We have worked together so much now that half the time, 30 seconds before the wedding is starting, and I've gotten them lined up, and I'm like, oh, wait, we had the same cues, make sure. You got this is it, we're changing the song, and this. And she'll be like, she's over here.
I think the last wedding, they added, 4 more couples. Yeah. I'm like, okay, I didn't hear that, but that's
because
fine.
Now that's the other thing, which is great about having a live musician at a wedding is when you're playing a recorded song, and now you have 12 people that are supposed to walk down to one song. Where we're just having to find the perfect spot to loop it or whatever.
Right.
She's just over there doing her thing.
I'll keep going. You got more? Okay.
She can play the violin until the cows come home if you got 12 people walking down the aisle.
Yes, that's how talented. Well, And for ours, it was delayed a little bit, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh my gosh, they're coming. Remember, I think you had to shift around really quick, but that's what she does for you.
Yeah.
She's not going to have to do that on Valentine's night. Valentine's night is going to be relaxed. You're going to be sitting there eating. We talked a little bit about what you get with your ticket price for Galentine. So the music bingo, the charcuterie boards, the cocktail boards, just the overall fun in that night. And then after
there are
the
going
two
to be pop-up vendors. I didn't mention that.
We're going to talk about it right now.
Okay, cool.
We're going to talk about that. But also, if someone wants a drink outside of the two, they can
cash bar.
purchase cash bar, right?
Yep.
Okay, so from the vendor standpoint, and I love this because, as you know, our show is very big on small business supporting small business. You are bringing vendors in from jewelry to candles. You want to talk about some of them?
Yeah, so I think I didn't even, like a week ago, I don't think I knew what permanent jewelry was. It kind of scared me, actually.
Did you think, like, what?
I'm
It's like a head, it's not a henna tattoo. It's like a real tattoo inside of it.
permanent
No.
jewelry? What is this?
You want to describe it? Because some people don't know about permanent jewelry.
So permanent jewelry is pretty much like it sounds, but it's not. So it's links that go on. It's not like something that attaches to you.
So it's not like a nose ring?
Right, exactly. It's high quality jewelry, so it's not something that's going to tarnish over time. I don't have any permanent jewelry, but we're bringing in a good friend of actually my sister's, Sky, who is pretty well known in the area. She actually goes out and sources a lot of her jewelry from Greece.
Oh, wow.
So lucky her, she gets to go on vacation in Greece and find some of these. Some of these trinkets that she brings back. But of course, they're things that you can't find anywhere else. So a very unique, again, very high quality jewelry. And it's become a really popular thing. Probably a lot of you already know that, to do these permanent links. And sometimes it's also to memorialize a memory, an event. Obviously, an event with your gal pals is a good reason to get some permanent jewelry. But yeah, again, it's very high quality jewelry that's not going to tarnish. So it's not like going to Claire's and getting, a bracelet.
Which, by the way, they're in Walmart now. I was like, what? Yeah. So don't get your jewelry there. Get it from here. So any of you that are tuning in, do you have any of this permanent jewelry? I had not heard of it, but an opportunity for you to see that. And as she just said, you could have your girlfriends there together and say, hey, let's get this together. And then you'll forever remember that special night for Galentine's. There's also going to be a vendor for candles. Is that what I saw?
Candles.
Finishing touch.
And I think we are trying right now to have it to where everybody also gets a little candle that they can take home with them. Yep. And then hats? They can buy bigger hats. Yeah. And the cowboy hats, it's a huge thing.
Well, it's because of Yellowstone.
Yeah. Yes. But they make them on site and they can... what's the word I'm looking for?
Do they burn?
Yeah, they'll burn stuff. They'll add like a different.
They do a branding
accessories.
in it?
They do a lot of times. Yeah, and they also can accessorize the hat. You can pick different accessories and stuff like that. So it's really cool.
So here's the thing: we're talking Galentine's night. We are going to be broadcasting at 5:00. She's going to be running around crazy, but you're going to see her with me at the beginning of the show. Yeah. Then I'd love to sit down with some of these vendors and give them a shout out. Talk to some of the girls. So that's why you want to maybe get there early because I might put you on the show. Then we're all going to be there to have fun with the music bingo and just the fun night. 6 p.m. until 9 p.m.
Yeah, we're going to play 3 games of music bingo. So we're going to really play the music bingo up. So it's like, who knows how long that will actually take. But I'm not going to kick anybody out, but we'll be done by 9. I've never had to kick anybody out of
What are the prizes?
Yeah. We're
still coming up with those?
Yeah, we are. But there's going to be some women-centric pampering kind of baskets, like as one prize, some gift certificates, stuff like that. So it'll be fun. Nothing cheap either. I've heard of some music bingo places. I go, well, what were the prizes? And they're like, a blow-up flamingo pool rack.
They just had that sitting in their garage and thought they'd get rid of it.
I'm like, what? Yeah.
No, this is class.
No. Yeah, classy.
Times 10, right?
Yeah.
The place itself, as you've been looking at these beautiful pictures, the drinks, the food, the entertainment that night, and just, again, bringing your friends. And we are stressing this. This is really something you want to get the entire family. Get your daughters 21 and up.
Yes.
Right? But get your 21 and up daughters, and then get your parents, get your aunts, get your sisters, get your grandma. I'm trying to see if my mom can come, who is one of the coolest grandmas around. Is she
Yes.
not?
Yep.
She
Abby
is
knows her well.
stylish.
My 84-year-old mother-in-law
She's gonna
has
be there?
the table. Mhm.
Okay, see?
Oh, they
good.
are hardcore. Those ladies are, though. Oh, yeah.
Yes?
They love to drink. Their drink of choice
love
is
to
the
drink.
Mick
Thought you were gonna say
Ultra.
they love bingo.
They love Mick Ultra.
Oh.
You know, that's their drink of choice, but they'll probably go off book and have the signature cocktail.
Or
But
they're
you
going to
get
ask you to
whatever.
put a beer inside of it.
Yeah, maybe. I
Like
don't
the
know.
margaritas with a
but
beer.
it's for 21 and up. But yeah, don't think that you have to be like I'm not young, like and
So you're saying other than cocktails, was there wine for
there's going to
purchase
be
too?
whatever. Yeah,
Okay.
anything, champagne, wine, beer.
Let me
any
stress
other
this because there's some
cocktails.
people that are saying,
Yeah.
well, hang on, I don't drink or I want to be the
Mocktails.
DD. You can do mocktails for them?
Yes, fancy
there you go. I
mocktails.
got you. I got
Fancy
you taken care of.
mocktails. Mhm.
Okay, we're going to
Yep.
take another quick
Yep.
break. We're talking about Galentines, and I haven't had a chance to look at the comments yet, but if you've been to a Galentine's event or you have anything you want to share about that, let us know. Yes, Diane just said, wow, it sounds like so much fun. Julie Purcell, I like that show, Name the Tune. Yes.
Yeah, it was
Yes.
awesome.
You're going to be able to incorporate that in your night. Again, Galentine's, Valentine's, more about what you can expect from Stonehouse of St. Charles when we return. This is my wonderful role model, one of my best friends.
She's, oh my gosh, you got a long life. You could probably live to be 130 or something. And I said, oh God, I hope not.
It's getting hot in here. Don't take off all your clothes.
I'm not going to take off my clothes. On the radio tape, going to
Kansas City, Kansas City, here I come. We're gonna spank. We're gonna speak. We're not gonna spank anybody. We are gonna speak about knowing your value, and then I'm gonna.
I'm going to spank them.
If you don't know your value and you don't grab hold of how important you are, I'm gonna spank you. Folks, you never know what you're gonna get with her. Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, be sure to go back to the beginning of the show because we've laughed a lot today. And that is exactly what's going to take place for you on Friday and Thursday and Saturday. All of it with the girls on February 13th, with your significant other for Valentine's and the night after, because Ruth knows that some of you are rushing around, you're at work, and you're like, I can't make it on the actual holiday. That's okay. That's why she's doing Saturday. So let's go ahead and go into Friday and Saturday night. So the ticket price, and we'll put that up on the screen for you as well, provides for your dinner, drinks, this incredible music from Abby on Friday night, and then you'll have another musician on Saturday. What can they expect food-wise and drinks?
So it's going to be a 3-course meal. I'm still planning menus, but I have lots of ideas because I know lots of chefs here in St. Louis,
Sure.
so many different chefs. But I think people can arrive early if they would like to have some cocktails while they're waiting to have dinner. But also a lot of people are interested in the history of Stonehouse, and I will give anybody a tour
Sure, yeah.
of the actual historic house, and talk to them about what the house, what's all still historic in the house and what it entails and everything. And then after cocktails, we'll sit everybody down for dinner, and it's going to be an amazing meal. I promise you that.
And 6:30 p.m. But as Ruth said, come a little early because why wouldn't you want to walk around and do the ooh and the ah and take the pictures and then post and tag them, by the way, on whether you put it on Instagram or Facebook or X or whatever social channel. She would love to see that from that night. And then on Saturday, you'll have the same food from Friday night, right?
And as we get closer to the date, I'll start posting the menus, exactly what they are and all the options and stuff. Because I know for sure we'll have a vegetarian option just in case, but I know how those guys like steak.
You think?
They like the red, they like the red meat. Yeah, exactly.
Women have a tendency to like fish. Men have a tendency to like meat.
Yeah.
So from the music standpoint, Abby, you'll obviously have your songs that you have ready to go. But if someone stops and says, "Can you play this?" Will you take some requests from them?
Yeah, if I'm able to accommodate, I'll try my best for sure.
Yeah.
I do have a wide repertoire, of course, especially of obviously the romantic music from playing a lot of weddings. So I have a lot of things that I can kind of pull out if somebody does have a request.
Do you have a favorite around Valentine's that you play?
I haven't actually played a lot of Valentine's Day gigs.
Oh,
so I don't
good.
know if I have a favorite for that. I know I actually played a few years back a bunch of Beatles tunes for a Valentine's dinner. So
okay,
may throw some Beatles in for the guys.
I know
especially.
what the favorite song that she plays at cocktail hour is. It won't be played at Valentine's Day though.
I'm not even sure what
what
that would be.
Freebird.
Oh
yes.
When she plays Freebird, the crowd goes.
How many
nuts.
minutes long is that song?
Well, I can dance it. I think it's the original. The original's at least 8 minutes long.
Yeah, I was gonna say 8.
Yeah.
For all of us that worked in radio, this is when you would take your bathroom break. And then come back and it's still
That's
playing.
hilarious.
You mentioned, by the way,
Yeah.
earlier that
Yeah.
you have a background in radio.
Oh yeah, that's scary. I help build radio stations, but mostly outside of the St. Louis metropolitan area. But then I did have a alternative rock radio station here in St. Louis that was all automated. My claim to fame is I was the very first station in the nation to have all my music on a hard drive. This was before Napster. This was before iPods
really?
and iPads. Yeah.
Look at this
yeah.
woman.
Yeah, that's my only claim to fame. You'd think it would be
No,
Stonehouse.
it's Stonehouse.
No, it's not Stonehouse. It's me having all that music on a hard drive.
So wait, you built radio stations?
Yes, yeah.
Look at this talent.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
I know. It was a weird time in my life, that's for sure. Yeah.
I think she might be able to name the tune in one note.
Yeah.
Because of
I
her
don't know. I
background.
used to. I'm not hip anymore. I used to be way more
Sure
hip.
you are. Sure
yeah,
you are.
that was 25 years ago. I was way more hip back then, that's for sure. Yeah.
So again, if any of you have any questions about the night, let us know, because a lot of you are saying this sounds like so much fun. Yes, so get your tickets and get them early, because what I don't want is that you go to buy the tickets and you say, I missed out, that they're sold out.
Yeah.
Let me go back here. Somebody had said earlier, pretty much they're saying, wow, it sounds like so much fun. Love Abby. Yes, absolutely. So Abby, we talked earlier about weddings. Now, for all of us, as you mentioned, everyone's in this, hopefully, happy mood. Can't wait to see the couple getting ready to get married and their new life starting. I always tear up or cry at weddings. How do you not while you're playing? Or do you? Like inside, do you feel the emotions coming up?
There have definitely been times, that I think somewhere a little more sentimental for me or others because maybe they reminded me of something. But also a lot of times I'm so focused on not wanting to mess up the special day, especially if it was incredibly beautiful during the ceremony. I'm like, okay, I don't want to miss a cue. But yeah, I mean, I'm so thankful to be able to contribute to people's biggest day of their lives. It's definitely a joy for me, and I'm happy to be able to also be at the Stonehouse most of the time.
There it is.
So
there's the picture,
yes,
by the way.
it is gorgeous.
Who was the photographer for
That's
that again?
Brianna Rose.
Brianna Rose. Yes, and
She's going to be at Stonehouse again like this weekend. So, yeah. Yeah, she's coming back.
And also, I think, past brides and grooms and families that have worked at the Stonehouse and have had their weddings there, I'm sure they would also be very interested in coming back.
Because most of the time, you never go back to the venue where you got married.
So my husband and I do as often as we can, and you go back. But that's a really good point, Abby. So yes, for those of you that have gotten married there before and you haven't been back, as Ruth said, most people probably don't. I love to go and revisit. We actually went back about a year after we got married and then just stood there and just kind of looked around, because there it is where there's no one, but you go back to the memory of it being packed and everyone laughing and your interaction with them, maybe getting a chance to say one thing, because you barely get a chance to talk to your guests, right?
It feels like it goes by in a
flash. Why don't you all have a reunion? All these people who had been married have a reunion back for Galentine's or Valentine's night. Now, for Valentine's night, you can take how many people? Is it 50 or under 50?
Under 50, yes.
Because these are going to be in two different areas.
Yes.
So the Valentine's night,
400. That's Galentine's hold. The hall holds 400 guests.
Yes. So girls, there's a lot of us that can be packed in there.
Yeah.
That's going to be on Thursday, but on Friday the 14th and Saturday the 15th, it's 50.
Okay. Friday and
so that's
Saturday.
a very intimate, beautiful setting. And what part is that held in?
In the historic Stonehouse.
The historic Stonehouse. Okay. And then the other, what do you call the other?
Sycamore Hall.
Sycamore Hall. Okay. So there's two
We
different
have some
areas.
of the oldest sycamore trees in the entire state of Missouri on our 10 acres.
See, you're getting
I know,
a
it's
history
crazy.
lesson.
It's crazy. This is a history thing. I don't know if people are into history or
No,
not.
there are
but
so many
this
people
is
into history.
Something that was said, yes, so many sycamore trees. And the Indians settled where there were sycamore trees because they knew that where there's sycamore trees, there's water. Yep.
Oh.
And we have 17 natural springs underneath our parking lot.
Wow.
Don't even talk to me about that. Yeah, I know.
That's
It's true.
interesting.
It's true. It's not just an old Indian tale. It is legit. We have a well still on our property that the original historic house drew their water from. It's still on the property, and water still bubbles up straight out of the ground. We filled the well in, but you see water. It goes down to the Blue Line stream. Yeah,
Again,
it's crazy.
I wanted you to think about this. Look at this here. Oh,
Yeah.
We're talking history.
Yeah.
You said, do people love history? Yes, people
Yeah.
do love history.
Yeah.
And to go back and, as we were just talking about, going back to when you get married somewhere and you go back to that, but think about going back. My husband loves to do this because he's a history buff. He loves to just sit there and look at every little nook and cranny and go, do you know what it took to build that? Or can you imagine the stories in this room? Right? That's what you want to do that night. We'll sit there and have fun together, but think
Yeah.
about what's taken place
The historic
years and
stone
years
house,
ago.
I have no idea how they actually built that. I really don't. It's a 4-story building. There is a full basement in it now, but it kind of dug out more in 1950s. But there's an attic that's fully the same height, width, and size as the first floor and the second floor. So it is kind of crazy. And there's 16-foot beams or 16-inch beams that run the entire width of that house. How they got it on the main floor, I could kind of see that. How they got
all the way up?
all the way up in that attic, I don't know how they did that. I really
If anybody
don't.
knows, let us know. Tag us in this.
Yeah, it took them 10 years to build the stone house.
Wow.
Yeah, it was
Again,
finished in
appreciate that.
1824.
Appreciate the history
Yeah.
that's come before us. And just enjoy it, as we mentioned. So we want you to come early as we wrap up. Okay, we have vendors that will be there on Thursday the 13th. Come enjoy, again, permanent jewelry, the candles, the hats. Any other vendors that we know of, or those three?
That booth?
Yeah,
The photo booth?
The photo booth? Those are always fun.
Yes, a lot of fun. My friend Jacob Norton owns Fate Booth, and it is it's
Oh,
a
he
lot
is
of fun.
a blast.
he is probably going to be there that night.
I love it.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun. If you've ever had a party anywhere or been to a wedding with Fate Booth, it's amazing.
So we'll
Yeah.
talk with all of them during our live broadcast. So if you cannot be there, be sure to watch the show and then pass along to everybody. If you've never heard of Stonehouse of St. Charles, and I have to thank Abby, her sister Gabrielle, her mother Lori for introducing me to Ruth, because I hadn't been there. I hadn't heard of it. But for events, not just weddings, they're doing a lot of events. And before we wrap up, I want you to talk about, you've got a murder mystery dinner that you're planning?
Yes, we're going to start trying to do murder mystery on any open nights that we have. I think it's going to be fun. You know, there's nothing like that anywhere near us. I think the closest one would be downtown St. Louis. So
Yes.
yeah, I don't know of anybody else that's doing it. So inside the historic house, it'll be cool. Really
Yes,
cool.
because
Yeah.
we might hear voices
Yeah.
from 200 years ago.
People ask me every day, is this
Is
place
it haunted?
And I'm like, if it is, they're very friendly ghosts. I've
It's
slept in
Casper.
there. Yeah, I've slept in there. I've never hear anything or anything like that. But yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, but we'll do a dinner and murder mystery theater, and
Okay.
where the guests can get involved. They're part of the storyline.
And then
Yeah.
this is to be announced. So that's why you want to
Yes,
keep an eye.
yes.
So best places for people to follow you.
Yes, Facebook and Instagram, obviously, and our website. So our website, to buy tickets, you go to our website, stonehouseofstcharles.com. That's an acronym for Stonehouse of St. Charles. Get it?
Got it? So
Yeah, but you can type in Stonehouse of St. Charles if you'd like.
And it'll
That's
get to that.
perfectly fine. Same thing.
So for people to buy tickets, by the
uh-huh.
way, for Galentine's, Valentine's, and the day after,
Yep.
go to your website.
under events.
And we have it also on our website. For
and
those
the
of you,
QR code too.
Yes, so we had the QR code earlier on the screen. There's the location, by the way. And then from a parking standpoint, you have golf carts that bring people up?
Yes, yeah, because we have acres of parking. So I keep the parking away from the beautiful spaces, because that's what brides really like. They want to take 1 million pictures next to the beautiful spaces. They don't want to see their car parked anywhere near it.
No.
So there is lots and lots of parking, on-site parking, paved too. But we have a golf cart ride. His name's Mike. That's why I call him the golf
Hi,
cart
Mike.
driver.
Does he have pimped out golf carts? Because everybody likes.
It's pretty fancy. It's pretty fancy.
I'm serious.
Yeah.
People have. It's like pimp the golf cart, just like they do their rides.
Yeah.
I've seen some fancy ones.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
In Cottleville, it's like it is
It's
a whole golf cart community,
Yep,
right?
it is,
As
for
soon
sure.
as you hit Cottleville, you're like, oh,
Golf carts everywhere.
Yeah.
It has to be, because
Yeah.
there's. I mean, they're gonna have to do something about the streets with
Yeah.
all the parking
I
and
know.
the amount, all
It's a
the new
lot.
community that's going in.
Yeah.
It was that's being
It
built.
is. It's crazy.
It's beautiful to see, though. I
Yeah.
love Cotterville. My husband used to describe it as Bedford Falls. It reminds, right?
Kinda, yeah,
It
exactly.
reminded him
Yeah.
from It's a Wonderful
Yeah.
Life. Okay, so there's a lot for you to find out again on their website. Follow them on social media. But the main thing is get your tickets, and then as soon as you buy your ticket, do as I've seen my friends do. Post, hey, I got my ticket. Hey, ladies, have you purchased your ticket yet? And then share that with all of your friends on your social media pages, and let's just get this sold out. 400 girls we can hold
fit in
on
there,
Thursday the 13th, and then 50 on Valentine's night, 50 on the 15th, and maybe you can do both. So that's what I was suggesting is for those of you that are in love and you're blessed to have an incredible relationship, we'll celebrate that with your significant other on Valentine's, but the day before, tell them, hey, I'm going to get together with my girlfriends.
I also want to make sure people know they can still book a tour if they're interested in a wedding.
Yes.
Right.
Right. So that's
we
what
do
we're-
a lot of weddings.
Yes,
Yeah.
and they can still do some more. So
Yeah.
all those beautiful pictures can be the backdrop of your wedding.
Same
So-
thing on our website.
And
It's
there's
on
some
there.
services
Yeah.
that they have
Yep.
you can find out.
Book a tour for a wedding or come out to Galentine's or Valentine's Day. But we make it easy to book a tour from the website.
And you do tours how often?
Mondays through Thursdays. Monday nights until 9 o'clock at night.
Holy
so
cow.
I usually leave there like 9 or 9:30 on Monday nights. And
Because she
Tuesdays
wants to
until 7.
accommodate all of you.
Yep, exactly.
And I just saw you, were you at a bridal event just a few days
yeah,
ago?
we were at the Ritz on
Yeah.
Sunday.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
it's
I
a
had
lot
some
of fun.
Again, wherever you can find out about Stonehouse of St. Charles, make it and put it on your radar for an opportunity for a wedding, for your next event. Again, the murder mystery dinner ideas, those will be announced as soon as they get dates for that. But for sure right now, your opportunity to join us. So we're going to be there. I will be there. You're going to be there in Galentine's also? Or
On
do you
the
have
14th.
You won't be there in Galentine's night?
I won't be
I
able
thought
to.
you were booked. Okay. So we are, though. This team, we will be there on Galentine's broadcasting at 5 p.m. And then the night, again, begins at 6 o'clock. But come for the vendors, come for the boards, come for the bingo, the
tour
music
of the
bingo,
house.
come for the fun, what?
Yeah.
The tours.
The tours,
yeah.
all
Yep.
of that. Yes. Have a great time. And then Abby will be there performing for you again for the experience night of the incredible 3-course dinner and then her strolling around with her beautiful music. Again, that's very different from just going to a restaurant and having a meal, which a lot of you pay that price for just the
Yep.
meal, or she said
Yep.
piped in music.
Yeah.
This is the experience you want. And then again, if you can't come Friday, the opportunity for Saturday as well. Any last comments before we wrap up?
Well, thank you for having
Oh,
us.
no, of course,
It
you're
was
welcome.
fun.
No, you're welcome.
It's going to
Thank
be
you.
just a taste of the amount of fun that we're going to have.
We've got a lot planned for the future. I'll tell you that right
Yeah.
now.
Yep.
Abby, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Ruth,
Yeah, and
thank you.
Ruth.
Yep.
Thank
Yep.
you very much. All right, I'm
Yes.
going to have you pick a color. We're going to end with our devotional. What
Nice.
color book?
There's no red one for
Oh.
Valentine's Day, but let's do the purple.
So
then, I
everybody
guess.
picks purple.
Yeah. They do.
All right.
Is it because you put it on the top?
No, this was in the middle. No,
oh, okay.
It can be any of these, but I'm telling you, it could be at the bottom, and people
Oh,
pick
that's
purple.
funny.
People love purple. Okay, she picked purple. 100 Days to Freedom from Fear and Anxiety. That's our devotional that we'll wrap up with when we return.
She's got it for $8,700. You're going to pay that?
And welcome back. It is 8:02 as we wrap up. If you're new to the show, we always bring faith into it. We have a devotional that we wrap up with. And when I'm on set, we do 100 Days to Freedom from. These are the books from Stephen Arterburn. We also do Jesus Calls, Jesus Listens. And then I just got one from our friend and a regular viewer of the show. Marilyn, thank you so much for giving us the book. And it all has to do with Christmas. So we're going to hang on to that one for this coming Christmas. So because she gave it to me, obviously, for a Christmas gift. So Ruth was just asking me if everybody has a tendency to pick this one for color-wise. I don't know. I think if I ask and I tell you that these are 100 Days to Freedom from Fear and Anxiety, from shame, depression, overeating, and anger, then, this is how I used to do it. I used to say, what would you pick from that? So if I had told you that, Ruth, what would you pick from those?
For me, probably overeating or anger.
What would you have picked if I had told you topics?
Probably the one that we have right now.
Because a lot of people, but understand this, the reason I got all these books is that they all lead together. Shame from overeating, anger, why did I do that, right? Fear, anxiety of what's going to happen. They all come together, but these are the things that we're trying to bring you freedom from. So listen up. This one, a lot of the ones of the other books are on days, for some reason, they all are on day 29, 29, 29. This one is chosen a lot. It's day 56. We are going to get through this one, and it won't be an option on the table anymore because we'll be through the 100 days, and hopefully we have an opportunity to break you from some of the things you feel. Okay, this one, ladies, is called Need to Know. For the Lord grants wisdom. From his mouth comes knowledge and understanding. This is Proverbs 2, verse 6. Concerns and challenges do not come with a set of instructions about how to fix them. Wouldn't that help? Yeah. Just knowing what to do next would provide peace, maybe a little assurance. That would help us move forward to resolve the issues. Unfortunately, that's not how life works. Think about a pressing problem right now that you're experiencing in life. You may have made a list of what needs to happen. You may have consulted with trusted friends and advisors. We're talking about gal pals, and yet still feel uncertain about what that next step is going to look like. There's nothing wrong with making lists, talking with others, doing research as you approach a problem. However, they don't always provide your understanding you're looking for or the clarity you're looking for. You need the Lord's wisdom every day for that. As you work through possible ways to resolve the issues that you face, remember to do something, and it's as simple as praying. Ask God for wisdom, knowledge, understanding about the problems. Ask the Lord to provide insight and a sense of peace. God will provide. We need to know how to move forward, and we can trust the Lord's wisdom and understanding for any challenge that we face. Chuck Swindoll said, a saying I heard years ago, it doesn't matter what you do, just do something, even if it's wrong. That's the most stupid counsel I've ever heard. Never do what's wrong. Do nothing until it's right. Then do it with all your might. That's wise counsel. I'd agree with you, Chuck. Christine Kane says, replace what you don't know about the future with what you do know about God. And Beth Moore says, authentic faith cannot help but act. One more time. Authentic faith cannot help but act. Sit on that one. Marinate with that one just for a bit. And then today's prayer for you. Dear Heavenly Father, I trust that you will provide wisdom for what I'm facing. Help me as I seek your clarity and assurance about what steps to take. I recognize that your way is best. Amen to that.
Amen.
And I bet you this gets chosen again next time. Ladies, thank you so much. I cannot wait to be with you on the 13th.
Yes.
Cannot wait to hear Abby play on the 14th for Valentine's. It's going to be a wonderful night. So if you haven't made your plans yet, here's what we're going to ask. Don't wait to the last second, right? Just get it off your plate. Feel organized and don't be rushing around and then getting frustrated because you forgot to get your tickets. So go to the website to purchase. Go and scan that QR code, whatever you need to do, and then get your friends together for Galentine's night. Get the couples together. Make it a big weekend out. SHOFSC.com, and the phone number is 636-317-1222. All right, to Abigail Stahlschmidt and Ruth Choate and myself, Monica Adams, we thank you. We always end with the same thing. Believe in yourself. She believed that she could be this incredible model, violinist, composer, singer. Ruth believed that she could go from her radio days to open up Stonehouse of St. Charles and be as successful as she has. I dream that I could do this and that you would watch and listen. And that means that we all can be what we want to be. The greatest thing that we can do, though, before we are any of that, is to be kind. God bless you all. Have a great day.